If given the chance for revenge, how far would you go to take it? Would you jump at the chance and drag others into your nefarious plot? Do you think you could get away with murder? The Deed 2 asks these questions and more in its reverse murder mystery plot. So, does the game weave a dark tale of intrigue, or is it more of a Scooby-Doo affair? Find out with me as I review The Deed 2. The Deed 2 establishes itself in 1930s Paris. You play as Englishman Kenneth Miller, a former inmate of a mental asylum who has suffered physical abuse at the hands of the staff. One misty night in Paris, he happens upon one of his former abusers about to enter a brothel. When fueled by his PTSD flashbacks, he decides in the moment that he will murder Frank Graceman, the worst offender from the asylum. As you enter Le Fleur Rouge brothel, you're introduced to an intriguing cast of characters, each of which has their own backstory and motivations that you can extract from them in various dialogue options and conversations. From occult sex workers to violent gang members or upper-class artists, you can use the conversation that they share against them or against one another to attempt to frame someone for your violent revenge taking place later in the night. From the get-go, you're free to explore the brothel in any order that you feel necessary, with the game's traditional point-and-click mechanics. You're encouraged to go through chests of drawers, medical cabinets, secret safes, and all of the rooms in an attempt to work out the most efficient or most gruesome way of murdering your victim. Will you choose a wrench and try to frame the handyman? Will you wait until Frank is alone or try to lead him off somewhere? Perhaps poison is more your style? There is genuinely a plethora of options to play with here, and having now played the game for several hours, each outcome and narrative that you choose to follow plays out in a different manner. I was actually really surprised at the amount of dialogue choices in the game and the amount of different narratives that can take place throughout, having played the game multiple times. Considering the size of the game and the cast of characters being relatively small, even the opening scenes of the game changes from time to time, and that's before you've actually made any player choices. The in-game clock starts at 9 PM, and as your victim has indicated he only has 1 hour to spare, you need to unfold your plan before the clock strikes 10 PM. A full in-game hour seemed to last about 30 real-life minutes, but I did have some more abrupt playthroughs, like attacking the victim in front of everyone just for the hell of it, or turning around and just leaving the brothel, which as it turns out is another valid ending. Given the game's short runtime, it seems developer Pilgrim Adventures poured more effort into replayability, and it really shows. There's something addictive about deciding which way you want things to end and seeing if you can make it happen that way, or even just discovering a new item you missed on your last playthrough and wondering what narrative uses it could have later. One thing I consistently wondered throughout my playthroughs of the game was why Kenneth was in the asylum in the first place. Was he just an innocent victim, or did he have a history of crime and violence in the past, given that he starts the game with the intention of murder? In all of my playthroughs, this was never cleared up, but this could definitely be a deliberate source of mystery for the developers to leave things open to interpretation. It is also possible that I just didn't find the narrative thread in the game that brought you down into a further backstory for the main character, but it does feel like something that maybe wasn't included deliberately. Without going into any spoilers, once you've successfully committed the deed, a crime investigation will begin and you will be interviewed by a French detective. You will have to account and answer for all of your in-game choices up to that point, and any items you may still have been carrying on you. So you'll want to make sure that any choices you make can be explained later, giving yourself an alibi where possible, or face meeting a gruesome end yourself. Overall, The Deed 2 for me was a success and a very enjoyable experience. Although it had the potential to be dark and macabre, it does so without ever being too morose. There's enough of a dark humour here spliced throughout that things never get too grim. It nails the atmosphere really well. The music and art style perfectly complement the setting and character personalities within. If you're into point-and-click adventure games, thriller movies or murder mysteries, I would definitely recommend giving it a look. The whole thing feels like playing a reverse murder mystery or Cluedo for adults, giving you the illusion of power to have things play out how you want them while you exact your bloody revenge is a fun take on the medium, and I'll likely return to the brothel again. I score The Deed 2 8 out of 10. Not one to miss if you're a fan of point-and-click adventure games, especially if you don't have time for the longer narratives that they tend to be. Thanks for watching another MrConeman review. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Check out some of my other content if you have the time. Let me know in the comments how you plan to kill Frank Graceman. Hope to see you again in the next one, and stay safe.